Hello again, my friends. We are back, this time with the math lesson. So during math at school, we always do some kind of warm-up song. So even though we don't have our music, I'm going to do count by tens. We're going to do it to the beat so it sticks in our brain. And when I'm done this video, I'm going to load that song for your moms and dads to play to the count by 10 songs that we really like. So here we go. Are you ready? Do, 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 do. That's how the song sounds. Here we go. Ready, count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That's how you count by tens. One more time. Go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That's how you count by tens. Now the song is a lot longer than that, so I'll load that later so that you can play the whole thing. Good job, kiss your brain. And that's just a way to get ourselves warmed up. We also, during math, usually talk about the weather, and we usually have a meteorologist that looks out the window and decides what the weather is like today. So I want you to think, what's the weather like today? Have you been outside to look? We're not going to play outside because the weather is not nice today. I'm looking out Micah's window, and right here at my house, it looks like it is raining. So the meteorologist would say it is rainy, and it's also a little bit, it's a little cold. So if we were at school, we would mark that on our chart. We would change Weather Frog to his raincoat. Good job being inside today, because otherwise he would be very cold and wet outside. All right, so for today, we are going to work on some story problems for adding and subtracting. This was our next unit coming up. Some friends are already really good at this, and we've mixed in some of our work with adding and subtracting when we did other jobs, but we're going to really talk about the math vocabulary today that goes along with that. So you're going to need paper and pencil, or whiteboard and pencil, whatever you want to use to do this job today. So if you don't have that just yet, pause me and go get the materials, and then we can practice together. All right, so to start out, we're going to start with this sign, which some friends, like I said, have practiced this already, and we call this sign the plus. Say that word, plus. And plus means adding. It means putting numbers together. So I like to say, add means put together. You say it. Add means put together. I can also change out that math vocabulary word add and say plus. Plus means put together. So when I have two numbers in a story problem, which we're going to practice in just a few minutes, when I have those two numbers and I put them together, I am adding. I use the plus sign. Okay. So that's plus. So if that's the plus, this sign, and it's so easy to make, is just called minus. You say it, minus. And I like to say, minus means take away. You say it, minus means take away. I can also change out the word minus and replace it with the word subtract. That's a little trickier. Say that word, subtract. Subtract means take away. Subtract means take away. So if I combine that song, I'm going to use the word add and subtract first. I can say add means put together, subtract means take away. Or I could use the words plus and minus. Plus means put together, minus means take away. So we're going to focus today just on the plus, the adding, putting numbers together to find the sum. Ooh, that's another important math vocabulary word, sum. It means the number at the end, the total of the two numbers that I put together. Sometimes 3, 4 numbers when we get really good at it. So I'm going to erase. We're going to do some story problems. The most important part with story problems is to listen for the numbers and the math vocabulary that goes off in your brain that says, okay, this is an adding problem. So I'm going to give you a story. It's got a lot of details in it. You just need to listen for those numbers. That's going to be the most important part. And when it's time to write, which we're not going to do it right away, we're going to listen and tell it back. Ooh, that line's a little crooked. Let's try that again. A number's going to go here. Boop. My plus goes in the middle, which tells me put together. And then my other line goes here. Then we know this is the equal sign. and my sum is going to go on this line, the total of these two numbers. And I'm going to show you some different strategies to figure it out. All right, some friends are really good at mental math too, which means just adding it up in your brain, but we have to know how to explain it as well. That's a big part of math in kindergarten, is explaining your thinking. So here we go. Here's the first story problem. Listen first. No writing. Cap your marker. Adrienne was going to the store. She bought 3 pieces of candy. Then she saw Skyly. Skyly gave her 4 more pieces of candy. How many altogether? Okay, I want you to pause this and explain to mom or dad or whoever's taking care of you today the story problem again. Not the answer, just what the story problem was. Go and do that. All right, you're back. We're going to read it one more time, and then we're going to get to work. Adrienne was going to the store. She bought 3 pieces of candy. Then she saw Skyly. Skyly gave her 4 more pieces of candy. How many altogether? Now, a lot of times in a math story problem, the words all together come up. That tells me right away I'm putting numbers together, plus, plus, plus. So here we go. The first number I heard was that Adrienne bought, 3 pieces of candy. Now, sometimes my brain has trouble with just looking at that, so I'm going to draw a picture. And what kind of candies? And my friends know Miss Walker is not the best artist. I try my best. So 1, 2, it's kind of like bats, don't they? 3. So Adrienne bought 1, 2, 3 pieces of candy. Sometimes that picture helps me. Then she saw Skyly. Skyly gave her how many more? Do you remember? She gave her 4 more pieces of candy. And make Skyly's candies different. We're just going to do circles candies because Miss Walker can't get these drawings together. All right, so we have 3 pieces of candy that were Adrienne's, 4 pieces of candy that Skyly shared with her. Then I can find my sum. What's the best way to do this? To touch count. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's that number all together? 7. That is my sum. So I'm going to write that here on the line. 7. I could redraw my picture if I wanted, if that helps my brain too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Moms and dads, we know that good mathematicians always double check their work. So let's read this together. 3 plus 4 equals 7. If you got that, got it all written down, you can always pause if you need to catch up, kiss your brain. Nice job. I'm going to erase that one, coming at you with the next story problem. So remember, we listen to the information first before we do it. Next one. Richie had 5 dogs. Lucas came to visit and brought 2 dogs. How many dogs were there all together? Pause the video and retell that story to your mom or dad. All right, you're back. Here we go. Listen again. Richie had 5 dogs. Lucas came to visit and brought 2 dogs. How many dogs were there all together? Bing, 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 bing. In my brain, all together tells me I'm going to be using a plus. I need a spot for my first number. I need a spot for my second number. Equals, and then here's my sum. I'm going to write that word under here just so it sticks in your brain. Okay, so Richie had 5 dogs. 5 is that number that's popping out in my brain. Lucas came to visit. He brought how many dogs? 2 dogs. Now, one strategy, if someone says to you, how do you know? You might say, well, my brain just knows it. That's true, but we can also draw a picture. So, 5 dogs. Oh, boy. You can draw along with me, too, if you like. 1. Now, we don't want to spend a ton of time on the drawing part, but for fun, we'll practice our art skills today. Do these look like dogs, my friends? Maybe a little bit. I could also, if I don't want to draw, and maybe you don't feel like drawing, you could do tallies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If that's easier for your brain to do counting that way. Okay, Lucas had 5 dogs. Richie had 2. I'm going to make Richie's have pointy ears. That kind of looks like a cat, but that's okay. You get the idea, right? Okay, Oh, and I could do 2 tally marks if I want to. All right, so 5 dogs plus 2 dogs. A good mathematician always touch count. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many altogether, my friends? The sum is 7. Let's read the math equation. We can read it. 5 plus 2 equals 7. Plus tells me to put those numbers together. All right, we're going to do one more. Now, this is a lot of fun, too, with your family at home. You can make up your own. Maybe use your brother and sister's names. I'm using friends in our class's names. And if you don't hear your name today, don't worry. You might hear it another day. Okay, last one. It's another adding problem. Listen for those math vocabulary words that tell you it's adding. Jamari was riding his bike and saw 6 birds. He rode a little further and saw 4 more birds. How many birds did Jamari see altogether? Retell that story. Don't give the answer. Retell the story to your moms or dads. Go. All right, here we go. I'm going to make my lines first so I can make sure I do a good number sentence. I know that it's plus because it's using words like more, altogether. It tells me that I am adding. And then this here is my sum. So one number plus another number equals the sum. Okay, so Jamari was riding his bike. He saw 6 birds. Now, some of you probably already have the answer done, and that's great, but we have to know how to show it. I'm going to make my birds like one's flying in the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A good mathematician always double checks. He was riding his bike. He saw 6 birds, and then he went further and he found 4 more birds. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's a good mathematician do? Touch counts. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to teach you a little trick. If you're a friend that can look at a number, boom, like that, and your brain knows it, I don't have to count this one. I can just say it, 6, and then use my counting on strategy. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So try that again. 6, it's done already. I know it's 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. So my sum for this one is 10. 1 and a 0, big fat hen. That's the way to make a 10. If I'm not sure that that's 6 and I can just say it like that and count on, I'm going to touch count. It is always okay to use that strategy if you have to touch count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 6 plus 4 equals 10. And that's it. Easy peasy. So at home today, if you would like, make up some story problems with your moms and dads. Now, it's just Miss Walker in here. I don't have anybody to help me. Mr. Walker and Micah are downstairs, so they're not going to help me with this. You don't have to just do this with drawing. That's one way to show your thinking. Another way is to do it with your body. You could make up a story problem and have moms or dads use their bodies to help you with it. You could use stuffed animals. So tell a story problem. I have 5 stuffed animals. And then I had 3 more, and then put them together and count them up. You really can use anything you have at home to do math story problems. So give that a shot today, maybe later on this afternoon or tonight after dinner if you want to make up some story problems with your family. It's good to do mental math and know those numbers like this, but it's also really important to show our thinking, to show how we know. Okay, so that's all I have for you for math today. We practiced putting numbers together, add, add, add. You say it. Add, add, add. Say plus, plus, plus. Plus, plus, plus. And then how we take numbers away. Minus, minus, minus. You say it. Minus, minus, minus. Or subtract. Subtract, subtract, subtract. And remember, those signs look like this. Add or plus means put together. Subtract or minus means take away. Tomorrow, we'll work on some subtraction problems. All right, friends, I will see you tonight for a bedtime story. Continue to make good choices. It seems like I say that all the time, doesn't it? But it's important for you to do a nice job for your moms and dads. And I'll see you very soon. Mwah.